Hey Tom, we're rolling.
Oh, hey Cardo, music off. In-helmet technology has been rapidly evolving. Every new unit that comes out is a little bit better than the last. In my hand here is the top of the range intercom from Cardo, the Packtalk Black. And boy is it chock full of delightful features. We've got powerful JBL speakers, voice control, up to 15 riders in a group, and an IP67 rated waterproofing. Essentially the same as the Packtalk Bold model, except the speakers are an extra 5mm larger. There's an extra year on the warranty, taking up to 3 years, and you also get this snazzy black plastic trim. Now, this is actually my Packtalk Black, one I have been using for the last couple of months. And for those few thousand miles, it has been a really impressive bit of kit that demonstrates just how far intercoms have evolved. Over the last few years, there has been a move in the industry away from Bluetooth and into something called mesh. Now, Cardo use something called dynamic mesh communication, or DMC for short. Now, imagine Bluetooth as a chain with each rider being a link and they're connected in a line. If one of those drops out of the chain, it's broken and the group becomes separated and can no longer talk to each other. However, when it comes to mesh, everyone is connected to each other like a net. If someone drops out of the net by going off on their own, the net will self-heal to maintain communication throughout the group, keeping the conversation and banter going, oh yeah. Now, if that rider chooses to come back, they'll seamlessly be reconnected to the pack. It won't be long before this becomes the standard method of intercom connectivity. Cardo have DMC, while Sena have Mesh 2.0. They both work in the same sort of way, but they're only compatible with their own systems. Current ranges are about a mile if it's nice and clean, but Cardo have this little flip up antenna to help improve signal strength, but things may vary out in the field. Now, fitting the Packtalk was super simple. We have the choice of a clip that slides up between the interior and shell of the helmet, or a nice slim sticky pad if you aren't able to use the clamp. Both will be just as secure as the other. Now, the speakers are quite large, which was a bit of a surprise when I first saw them, but my Ally RX7V accepted them with ease. But it is just worth bearing in mind just how much bigger they will be though. You may need to remove some of the foam from the cheek pads to get a good fit. If you want to watch my full fitting guide, just click up here to have a watch. I'll go through everything you need to install it there. Now, there is a choice between a wired and a boom microphone depending on the type of helmet you're using. If you're open face or flip up, the boom will be much better for you, whereas full face wearers will want to go for the wired mic as it sits a bit nicely inside the chin. Once it's all in though and the music is playing, the speakers give fantastic clarity with a reasonably bassy thump. It won't hit hard like a subwoofer, but it gives great depth to the sound and takes away that sort of tinny quality that smaller in-helmet speakers can have. Now, the Black gets the JBL 45mm speakers, which are 5mm bigger than the Packtalk Bold's 40mm, also by JBL. And at max volume, they are painfully loud without any form of ear protection. Pop in a set of earplugs though, and it still has enough power to be heard clearly. Now, I've tried the foam earplugs and the silicone filter type to see what worked best. Now, the foam earplugs blocked more sound in total, whilst the filter plugs allowed more volume to be heard whilst cutting out a lot of wind noise. They both worked well for me, but it's good to have an experiment and just see what hearing protection works best for you. When it comes to noise and buffeting though, from fitting the intercom to the side of my helmet, I haven't really noticed anything more than usual. It's pretty slim fitting and aerodynamic, but if you're after an even more streamlined integration, then you want to take a look at the Packtalk Slim. This separates the battery from the unit and just gives you a nice slimmer profile all round. Now, by far, one of my favourite features has to be the natural voice operation, as Cardo calls it, voice control to you and me. It does feel a little bizarre at first to start talking to your helmet, but it really does work. And I found that it prefers to be spoken to as you would another person. You know, we do all that weird sort of talking to a machine voice when we're trying to get our phones to activate. Well, don't do that. Speak naturally and, hey Cardo, your wish is my command. Now, whilst the buttons are pretty reasonably easy to use with the winter glove, and the scroll wheel makes it a doddle to change the volume and find different radio stations, actually I just used the voice control because it was so much easier. Now, what's really clever is the integration with Siri and Google. Whilst the Cardo will do a range of basic commands, the world is your oyster when it comes to the voice assistant built into your phone.
Okay Google, directions to Infinity Motorcycles.
Now, not everyone needs Siri to make a reminder to pick up dinner on the way home, but asking Siri to serve your favourite Spotify playlist when you've got your gloves on and the phone zipped up inside your jacket is beneficial. Just ask me how I know. Now, Cardo also fitted the Packtalk Black with an FM radio, and I'll be honest to say it's not something I've really used that much. I tried it, it does work pretty well, it's quite clear, better than some car radios I've used, but it's still a radio, so signal can be patchy if you're going out for a little B-road blast. I actually preferred using a radio app on my phone to be a better solution to tune in to my favourite stations. The Packtalk can also be connected to two devices at the same time, so you can have your phone playing on your music while a GPS is feeding in directions, and the unit will cleverly adjust audio levels so you don't miss a waypoint. I really like that Cardo have developed an app which makes it really easy to navigate through the unit settings. And once again, see my top left for a full fitting and setup video where I go through all the things you want to do before you go out for a ride. It makes it much easier than trying to fathom your way through all the buttons. Now, why wouldn't you want one of these? Well, its features are overkill if you just want to listen to a bit of music. Something like a Freecom 1 or 2 Plus will be much better catered for your needs and save you a lot of money on features you don't need to use. But if you happen to ride in a group and all your mates are on a Sena or an Interphone system, I would suggest you buy the same brand as them. It makes the experience so much easier and slicker. This is fantastic, but nothing is nicer than being able to just connect easily every time you go out for a ride. To round off then, the Cardo Packtalk Black is a cracking bit of kit that really is at the top of the intercom game. If cutting edge tech is what you must have, then what are you waiting for? Available online and in-store today, as well as a whole host of other intercoms, helmets, clothing and riding accessories. Ride safe and have fun out there.